Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you watched my last couple videos, you know that my plan was to go to the most extreme points north, east, south and west in Canada. I did manage to make it to the east coast, Cape Spear, the most easternmost point in Canada. Unfortunately on that trip I had a few incidents, dropped the bike a couple times, had one crash that kind of scared me. As a result of that, I lost the rear brake. I narrowed it down, I figured out what happened. It was actually the rear banjo bolt that connects on the top of the rear master cylinder. When I crashed it, I think when it was skidding through all the rocks, a little rock must have got up behind the swing arm and the banjo bolt, and when the suspension compressed, it just popped the banjo bolt off. So not a big fix. Unfortunately, because of COVID, there was a huge back order on everything. So I had a few week delay. I'm now into the middle of September, which means that the west and the north just aren't gonna happen this year. Canadian winter makes that impossible. So today I'm at Fort York, which is the site of the original settlement in Toronto. Toronto's obviously the biggest city in Canada. This fort was built in the late 1700s, obviously by the English. And yeah, let's take a look around, and then we're gonna head to Point Pelee, which is the southernmost point in Canada. So we'll take a look around. I was almost forgetting to show everybody Southern Ontario, my home. I'll drive through Toronto, and then we'll see Niagara Falls, one of the wonders of the world, and yeah, head to Point Pelee. Let's go have an adventure. So the Fort York, which is where I'm at, was built in the late 1700s to overlook the Bay of Toronto. So what's kind of interesting, I'll go over here and see if we can show you, but this isn't on the water anymore. Toronto's actually reclaimed quite a bit of water, a few blocks towards the water, and I'm assuming it's probably billions of dollars worth of real estate. So Fort York actually played a huge part in the War of 1812. For those of you who aren't Canadian or history buffs and don't know what the War of 1812 was, after the Americans had their revolution, they decided that they would also like to take over what is now Canada, so they actually attacked up here. At Fort York, where I'm standing right now, there was a huge battle. The Parliament houses that were built here at the time and Government House were burned down. They were eventually repelled, and then 2 years later, the British got their revenge when they invaded America and burned down the White House. So for those of you that don't know about that, interesting little historical tidbit. I'm gonna walk up to the walls here and kind of show you over all the reclaimed land. So all those big high rises and stuff pretty much are all on reclaimed land. Yonge and Dundas Square, the middle of downtown Toronto. Alright, so we made it to Niagara Falls. You probably saw on the ride in that there's so much water that goes over this falls. It's actually 28 million cubic liters a second. But so much water goes off that it creates a spray and it comes down as rain on the road. So almost like its own little ecosystem here. Yeah, 28 million liters of water a second. Insane. Let's go take a look. $28 million cubic liters a second. So that was the world famous and ever epic Niagara Falls. I'm going to head to Point Pelee now, which is the southernmost point in Canada. I'm going to drive through the little town of Niagara Falls, Clifton Hill here, just to show you. Niagara Falls is kind of like a little tourist attraction. It's kind of like a little mini tacky Vegas. There's a couple casinos, more restaurants and kind of attractions and stuff than you can count. So it's really tacky. I spent a lot of time here as a young kid, young adult. And yeah, let's go take a look and go to Point Pelee. Woo! Alright, so we're at Point Pelee, the most southernmost point in Canada. You can even see America across the water a little bit. Cool. Ooh. Let's see how far we can get out. Very cool. Look at the seagulls. Alright, so that was Point Pelee, the southernmost point in Canada. I hope at least one person found this entertaining. I gotta say, I'm having a huge amount of fun touring this beautiful country that I've never seen. Really lucky to be able to have done this. So right now I'm hiking back to the bike. It's about a 3-kilometer hike. Once I get there, got to turn around and go home. That's a 350 kilometer ride. I've already done about 700 kilometers today, so that'll be about a 1,000-kilometer day. I'll get home probably 11 or midnight. I didn't do a huge amount of video of the rides today. Here in Southern Ontario, everything's so spread out. They're basically on highways all day, so I've already been on the highway for about 5 hours today. It's not anything exciting for me or for you, so there's no point putting it in. So yeah, right now, head home and we'll turn around and we will get the north and western sections done. That's the part that I was really looking forward to, is getting up to the Arctic. Unfortunately, just with COVID and delays and parts and crashes, it wasn't feasible. So I have a couple ideas for stuff to keep me busy over the winter, and check in then.